Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Hey everybody, thanks for downloading the show. I've been really busy lately, so today's episode is going to be somewhat quick, but it's going to be a lot of fun. The podcast's official weatherman, Frankie MacDonald, will be returning to run down this week's weather. But first, my next guest is also returning to the podcast for the first time this year. This is his fourth appearance as a guest. He is the first legally blind man to write, produce, edit, direct, and star in a feature film unassisted. From the Gold Coast in Australia, it's the one and only Gough. How you doing?
I'm very well, Jason. And yourself?
Doing pretty good. Before we get started, if this is your first time hearing Gough on the show, I'll have links to the other appearances in the show notes. That way you can hear some of the things that we've discussed before about his previous movies and how he's able to do it all. So make sure you check those episodes out. But it's been a while since you've been on the show. What have you been up to?
Well, it's been quite busy down at the old Beer Nuts Productions Fun Factory, just punching out the latest film. That's pretty much what I've been up to. But look, for just really quick, for those of your listeners who might not know, like you said in your intro, I am a blind filmmaker from Australia. This is actually our 17th film that we've produced, But I've also done audio downloads and a couple of books. So if it's creative in nature, then that's sort of my go-to. That's what I love doing. But yeah, filmmaking is my number one passion. And like I say, this current film that we're about to chat about, that you got a bit of a sneak preview at, it's actually our 17th film. So yeah, we've been quite busy over the last few years.
Man, that is incredible. 17.
Yeah. It started back in 2010 was when I released the very first one, and that was a feature film. And since then, I've done mainly comedy short films. So the feature film was a bit more of a serious documentary about disability and mental health. And then after that, because comedy is my number one thing. I'm a real comedy nerd. So after that, the next 16 films are pretty much all hopefully hilarious, inappropriate comedies.
Well, you have a new movie out called How to Land That Dream Job. What was your inspiration to do this one?
Well, it might be hard to believe, Jason, but when I've been auditioning actors and hiring crew members and things like that, I reckon I've come across all 16 of these applicants in the film. I reckon I've come across all of them in real life. You know, so as outrageous as that might seem, I think that is the truth. But look, when it was time to make the next film, I was sort of just going through some old notes and all that sort of stuff, and I'd come across a few little sketches I'd written of job interviews, and so I put them together, and I thought, well, if I flushed it out more, I might be able to turn this into a bit of a film. So I had about 4, and so I thought, well, I need to make sure I pick on every corner of society equally. And so I was like, well, who am I missing? And so I thought, well, I haven't got a snobby, stuck-up bitch, so I'll put her in there. And I need a heroin addict mother, so I'll put her in there. And, you know, I need the sort of guy who thinks he's God's gift to women and all that sort of stuff, so I'll put him in there as well. So, yeah, so it was pretty much just once I decided that that's the sort of route that I wanted to go with, it was just making sure that I had every corner of society covered. Because, look, it's important as well. I think that when people watch it, and I don't know about you, Jason, but when people watch it, I want them to watch it and go, oh, I've met a dude like him, or I've met a woman like her before, or I know a guy like him. So it's really important that, I wanted to make it as relatable sort of as I could as well.
That was the word I was about to use, is each one of those people were very relatable. You definitely know somebody like that in your real life.
Yeah, well, that was really my point. So, yeah, I wanted to, obviously, like I say, it's obviously a comedy film, and I wanted to pick on all corners of society equally. But I think in doing that, you know, people recognize people in their own life and go, I know a woman just like her. So, and that obviously makes it even funnier when you can bring it back to somebody that you already know. So, yeah.
You have a great cast of actors involved. Which one was your least favorite to work with?
Well, all of them. They're all assholes. Let's be honest. No, that's a joke. They were all. Look, it's really important to me. I'm glad that you like the cast because it's really important that I say to Simon, my production guy, I say to him all the time, look, an audience can forgive a lot of things, but there's a few things they just can't forgive, and that's like a poor script, poor direction, but mainly it's poor casting and bad acting. It takes you out of the film immediately. So it's really important that I spend a lot of time casting my films to make sure that I get exactly the right actors. And as you would have seen, Jason, because you've seen a few of my films now, I mean, there are a couple of familiar faces, but I do fresh casting sessions for every film. So, you know, they've always got to come in and do an audition for me. And, with this one, this is the biggest cast I've actually worked with. There was 21 actors in this film. So, it was a big cast. So it took a while to do the casting process. But I think they all did a really, really fantastic job. I'm genuinely thrilled with how they all did. I mean, there was a lot of rehearsals, and I think a lot of them wanted to kill me, but it was worth it because I think they all did a really spectacular job.
Do you have any funny moments that you can share with us from the set?
Well, I tell you what did make me laugh was there's a particular scene with a couple of immigration officers in the film, and the thing that tickles me the most is Craig's a larger man, and him running always seemed to tickle me a little bit. I don't think he's going to be any Usain Bolt anytime soon, Craig. He's a really solid actor and a really lovely guy, but I don't think running is really his forte. So that was one thing that did tickle me. And the shooting day itself was pretty quick in regards to, like, I'd rehearsed the actors a lot because I knew we couldn't muck around when it came to filming because we sort of just get one in, film their scene, get them out, get the next one in, film their scene, get them out because we had limited time and, you know, limited budget, limited time. So we just really had to sort of churn through them all. So there was no time to really fuss about much, if that makes sense.
I think this was the perfect movie to do this with. It seemed like you kept the sets kind of simple compared to your last films where you were in one place or another, and the others, it seemed like there were a lot more sets. Did that help kind of keep things moving along faster?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, 100%. But it is funny. So when I write a script, after I finish writing the script, you know, I budget it, and I'm like, oh, well, this is great because we can just use my work office as the number one location. So that saves me having to, fuss about trying to find a location to film at. But then I thought, oh, man, now I've got to cast 21 actors and get a whole bunch of crew in. So, I mean, it sort of swings and roundabouts. I mean, there was the last film I did, the prostitution mockumentary, which you saw. That one's only got 5 actors in it. But there's a lot, like you say, there's a lot more to it technically with locations and how it was filmed and all that sort of stuff. So I suppose what you have with one, you can't have with another. You know what I mean? So yeah. you get a bonus with just having the one location, but then you've got 21 actors that you got to deal with and handle and get the performances right and all that sort of stuff. And the other thing that I found, it's not as easy as what people would think to film in an office because again, there's sort of limited space, but also just with sound and lighting and all that sort of stuff, it's not as easy as what people would just automatically assume to film in an office. So it took a couple of runs through with Simon. My production man came down a few times, and we had a few sort of test filmings to get it as good as we could.
The day this episode comes out, I'm going to be doing an interview over the phone for a potential job editing audio for a former contestant from the last season of the CBS reality show Big Brother. Do you have any advice for me to land that job?
Absolutely. What you need to do is you need to watch my film again and then don't do anything that any of those people do.
Gough, I want to thank you for being on the show today. Where can people find your movie and your social media accounts?
Absolutely. So, yeah, if people want to download the film, it's a direct download, so it couldn't be easier. So they just go to beernutsproductions.com and they just hit the movies page and they'll see all the films that we've done up there. All 17 are up there, but they'll see the How to Land That Dream Job and they can just download it straight from beernutsproductions.com. There's no third-party involvement at all. So it's really easy. And then, yeah, like you say, we're all over social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, you just type in Beer Nuts Productions and we come straight up. So I encourage everybody to hit up the website and download the film, but also to check out the social media channels and like and share and all that sort of good stuff as well. And the good thing about the YouTube channel is there's tons of clips. So there's all the trailers for the films on the YouTube channel, but there's also a few other little clips there that haven't been released and some media clips and all sorts of fun stuff on the YouTube channel too. So, yeah, whatever you're doing, just type in Beer Nuts Productions and have a good time, basically.
I'm going to play a short clip from How to Land That Dream Job, and I'll be right back.
Good evening. A member of our fine staff just up and quit last week. She claims unsafe work practices. I claim ignorance. But like I said to the judge, who's to say what's right and wrong in this topsy-turvy world in which we live? Apparently him. But in any case, replacing this fictional staff member proved to be something of a challenge. Mainly because people are idiots and are unaware of how to conduct themselves in a job interview situation. So tonight, as a community service that was not ordered by any member of the legal or judicial community, I'm going to give potential employees a guide on how to behave during a job interview, giving them the best opportunity at landing the job of their dreams. That dream job, if you will. You're welcome.
Want to contact the show? Send an email to jason@wedon'thavecookies.com or call 929-266-9342 and leave a voicemail.
Hey guys, it's Elena Davies from the Miscellaneous Podcast, and you are listening to We Don't Have Cookies.
I am back, and with me right now is the podcast's official weatherman, Frankie MacDonald. Frankie, what's the weather going to be like this week starting Monday?
It's going to be lots of rain in New York City. It's going to get colder once again, New York City and Boston. And later on this week, it's going to bring a lot of rain in Boston and New York City later on this week. And it's going to bring more rain. And it's going to bring severe weather in Texas. Again, it's going to bring a lot of rain all across Manitoba, Canada, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. They got colder weather in California and Arizona. They're predicting the colder than normal June in Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, and Utah, and all these places in the states, according to the NOAA.
Do we have any weather reports from overseas?
Overseas, it's going to bring cold temperatures in Europe. It's going to bring more rain in Moscow, Russia, and it's going to bring colder temperatures in New Zealand. And there's a tropical storm developing near Bermuda, and it's going to bring the typhoon. They're predicting 24 named storms in the Eastern Pacific hurricane season this year.
Wow.
That means an active typhoon season in the Pacific this year. It's going to bring more typhoons in the Pacific like Japan, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, South Korea, Vietnam, Laos, Philippines, Guam, and all these places.
Wow, it sounds like that we're going to have a busy summer of reports from you, Frankie.
Yes, especially hurricanes. I remember the Hurricane Joaquin that hit Bermuda in 2015. It had Gonzalo in Bermuda in 2014. It had Hurricane Nicole in Bermuda in 2016. Those are my past weather reports for Bermuda.
What's the latest with your YouTube channel?
I got 201,000 subscribers. I got 35 million views grand total.
Wow.
I finally reached up to 200,000 subscribers. And this week, 7 years ago, I uploaded a video, Guy Tries to Eat 50 Hot Dogs at Once, on May 21st, 2012.
That's incredible, Frankie. Congratulations on getting 200,000.
That means next month, 9 years ago, I made a Tosh.0 Season 2, Episode 13. And next year, there'll be my 10-year anniversary for my original viral video, Severe Earthquake Warning for California in September 2010.
We'll have to have you on next month for a little longer to talk about a lot of those milestones.
It's like next year, it's going to be 10-year anniversary for my Severe Earthquake Warning for California, September 2010. This time, 10 years ago, my book, Be Prepared, a Frank Dog Guide to Life, Weather, and Everything didn't exist yet. My action figures, my bobbleheads, and my Frank Says Be Prepared shirts didn't even exist yet.
Where can people find those?
www.thelostgod.com for Frankie t-shirts and hoodies and sweatshirts. And another website is from Frankie Now Action Figures, www.frankieactionfigure.com. in Amazon.com to order Frankie MacDonald action figure steps 2. Number 3, my book is Be Prepared, a Frankie MacDonald Guide to Life for Everything. People can order them on Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble bookstore website. And number 4 is Talking Frankie MacDonald Bobbleheads at the National Bobbleheads Hall of Fame Museum website. People can order Talking Frankie MacDonald Bobbleheads on National Bobbleheads Hall of Fame. When you press the button, my voice appears.
That sounds great, Frankie. I want to thank you for being on the show this week. I hope to talk to you again next week.
Thanks for watching. My name is Frankie MacDonald. You are listening to the We Don't Have Cookies radio show.
My outdoor project is going really well. The past 2 weeks, I spent 50 to 60 hours a week working on the yard, and it's really shaping up. I have another week or 2 at that pace, and I should be finished with it until the summer. Got a couple of lilac bushes to plant near my current one to try to get a little more privacy from the neighbors across the street. I bought a blueberry bush, some black, purple, red, and gold raspberries, and some blackberries. I also got a Shenago strawberry apple tree. It has apples that have a strawberry smell to them. A cinnamon spice apple tree that has a cinnamon aftertaste to the apples. A Cox Orange Pippin apple that has apples that have an orangey mango taste to them, and a Honey Crisp apple. You can get the Honey Crisp apples anywhere, and I wasn't going to buy one, but my mother-in-law really likes them, so I got one to make her happy. I also got a Bartlett pear and a couple of hardy giant Asian pears. I almost got all of it planted and mulched. I only have a few things left, and I saved those for last because I have to put fences around them to keep the deers and groundhogs out. Actually, I have to put fences around all of this stuff eventually, but these already have leaves and stuff on it, so I need to hit that up as soon as possible. That's what I'm going to be doing today. I also have 10 more shade trees coming that will add a lot of color to the yard once the fall hits and they get a little older. They should be here this week. The week after, I have a few indoor projects that I'll be doing, and then back outside for a few more outdoor projects. I'm really wore out, guys. I took pictures to post on social media, but you know me, even though I took all the pictures, I never posted them, so hopefully I'll do that this week. Maybe today. I don't know. So I'm trying to get things going here on the podcast, but between my normal chores, mowing grass, working outside, and working on other people's audio, I'm starting to run out of time. But hopefully things will slow down soon, at least enough for me to put some more time into the podcast. So please bear with me just a little bit longer. And I'm going to wind things down with some strange days for the week. If you're listening to this on the day it comes out, Monday, May 20th is Be a Millionaire Day. So go do that. And donate to the podcast by going to WeDon'tHaveCookies.com, scroll to the bottom of the homepage, and click that donate button. The more money I get from the show, the higher it moves up on the list of priorities. Tuesday is Talk Like Yoda Day. The thought of talking like Yoda kind of makes me cringe, so I will move on to Wednesday, which is Buy a Musical Instrument Day, buying a kazoo. Friday is Scavenger Hunt Day. That actually sounds like a really fun one to me. I like that. Saturday is Sing Out Day and Towel Day. Over the weekend, my little girl was in a talent show where she sang, and I gotta be honest, I started to tear up watching her on stage in front of an auditorium full of people. I almost needed a towel to wipe my tears and to cover my face so nobody would see me cry. Sunday is World Lindy Hop Day, and I have no clue what that is. I also have no clue if I'll be able to do a show next week, but I will do my best. Thanks for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review. See you next time.
Change my screen. There you go. I've got you loud and clear.
All right. Sounds good.
What about me? You got me all good?
You sound pretty good. You sound a little distant, but I think we'll be all right.
In all fairness, I am in Australia.